How to know when to stop drafting RBS in fantasy football. Imagine you're in the middle of your fantasy football draft, and you're wondering if you should keep picking running backs or shift your focus elsewhere. It's a common question, and one that can really impact your team's success. Knowing when to stop drafting running backs is all about balancing your roster needs with the value available. First, think about your league's starting lineup requirements. If you need to start 2 or 3 running backs each week, you want to make sure you have enough to fill those spots comfortably. Usually, drafting between 3 and 6 running backs is a good range. Once you have your starters and a couple of backups, it's time to consider whether continuing to pick more makes sense. A popular approach is the hero running back or anchor running back strategy. This means you pick one elite running back early in the draft, often in the first or second round, to secure a high floor. Then, you wait until the middle rounds, around the 6th to 8th, to add more running backs. This way, you're focusing on other positions early and building depth later. You should stop drafting running backs once you have a solid starter and a couple of backups or high upside players. If the remaining options are part of a committee or have uncertain workloads, it's better to shift your focus. Another common tactic is the zero running back strategy. Here, you wait to draft running backs until after you've secured top wide receivers and other key positions. You might pick 3 to 5 running backs by round 10 and aim for about 6 total by the end of the draft. You stop when you reach that number or when the remaining players are unlikely to give you much value. Look for signs that it's time to stop. First, when your starting running backs are set and you have backups with potential upside. Second, if the remaining running backs are in crowded backfields with limited touches. Third, if you find better value at other positions like wide receiver or tight end. And finally, if your draft capital is already invested enough in running backs compared to other spots. In the end, it's about finding the right moment when your roster is balanced. Stop drafting running backs when you have enough to cover your starting lineup and backups, and when continuing would mean passing up better opportunities elsewhere. This usually happens after selecting 3 to 6 running backs, often in the middle rounds, once the talent pool starts to thin out. Keep an eye on the flow of your draft and your team's needs, and you'll know exactly when to shift your focus.